Hello, my name is Sachin Patel, and today we're going to be talking about something that seamlessly integrates into almost every single second of our daily lives, yet completely operates in the background, and which is data collection by tech companies. And I want you to think about the very first thing you did when you woke up this morning. For me, and most of us, we've reached over, unlocked our phones. We went through the motion of checking notifications and scrolling through apps. And in that tiny 5-second window, or a massive digital machine swung into motion. And to set the stage for analysis, let's look at some of the variables. Our key actors here are major tech companies. So think of companies like Google, Meta, Apple, and TikTok. And the actions we're putting under the microscope is their practice of harvesting massive amounts of user data. So over the next couple slides, we're going to break down whether this level of constant tracking is actually justified, and look at the standards that are supposed to keep those companies in check. So what does this actually look like in practice? So mass data collection is essentially companies gathering our personal information through websites, mobile applications, social media platforms, and search engines like Google. So let's trace exactly how this happens. Think about the last time you downloaded a new app or visited a website for the first time. And before you could even see the content or use the service, usually a massive pop-up blocks your screen, forcing you to accept, very long privacy policy and their TOS agreements. Like most people, you probably just click accept without reading, a single sentence because you just want to use the app or browse the website. And but the second you click that button, basically legal consent is given. From that moment on, they can track your browsing history, what you search for, even your exact GPS locations throughout the day, and how long you even linger on their specific post or website, and even sometimes technical details about your device. So ultimately, tech companies, feed this raw data into incredibly complex algorithms to target you with highly specific advertisements, personalize what shows up on your feed, and deeply map out, some of your behavior patterns. So this brings us right into our first major side of the debate, which is why a large portion of society finds this practice completely unethical. So many critics argue that this non-stop harvesting is a massive threat to our personal privacy in an increasing digital world, essentially creating an unavoidable culture of constant digital surveillance. And it changes how we act online when we know we're always being watched and logged. So the real ethical breakdown, though, happens the exact second we are asked for consent. And let's be completely honest with ourselves here. Nobody actually reads those agreements. Privacy policies are intentionally long, incredibly dry, and packed to the brim with confusing legal jargon that the average person simply has no chance of understanding. And studies have shown that if the normal user actually tried to thoroughly read every single privacy policy for the apps and websites they interact with in a single year, it would take them, hundreds of hours reading time. And because of a single agreement, we can take an hour of heavy legal filtering just to fully comprehend. Millions of us do what's easiest. We just click accept and hand over our data completely blind. And this is exactly where critics focus their arguments. They point out that burying invasive tracking clauses inside a massive wall of text makes true informed consent completely impossible. You cannot genuinely consent to something you cannot reasonably understand. And ultimately, this approach creates a major red flag around corporate honesty, user autonomy, and data security. So now on the flip side, there is actually another side to this story. A lot of data optimists argue that mass data collection is actually ethical because of the massive benefit it gives back to the society. Supporters point out that by analyzing our data, companies can make our digital lives incredibly seamless. Instead of wading through random garbage or irrelevant ads, we can get recommendations, updates, and service tailored to our exact interest. On top of that, users get to enjoy these massive multi-billion-dollar platforms completely for free because we are actually trading our digital footprint for their service. And if we step back and look at the bigger picture, this data is also the literal fuel driving modern innovation. These huge data sets are exactly how we train advanced AI, and this improves their search engines, builds smarter navigation systems, and in the real world, this exact same data helps predict traffic jams, also which cuts down on city carbon emissions, maps out public health trends, and also optimizes emergency response systems during natural disasters. To fairly judge which side is right, we can't just rely on our gut feelings. We need an objective professional baseline, and for that, we turn to the ACM Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct, specifically Section 1.6, which is respect privacy. So the ACM sets two very clear rules for tech companies that manage user data. First is data minimization, which means that companies should only collect the absolute minimum amount of data needed for their softwares to function, and they must protect it from unauthorized access. And second is transparency. So organizations must be completely open, honest, and clear about exactly what data is being collected, and also why it's being taken and who gets to see it. So in conclusion, at the end of the day, how do our modern tech companies stack up against this professional standard? And while data collection definitely drives innovation, the way it's currently being handled has caused a massive breakdown in public trust. Hiding complex tracking rules inside endless legal documents completely violates the core idea of transparency. Furthermore, with a basic, like when a basic flashlight app or a simple mobile game or even a calculator app demands access to your contact list and asks you for your precise GPS location to run it, it completely fails the principle of data minimization. Here they're taking your data that they don't need simply because it's valuable to sell. So my final takeaway is that tech companies need to fundamentally change how they design their interfaces and business models. They need to simplify their terms of service so normal people can actually read and understand them at a single glance. And we shouldn't have to sacrifice our fundamental right to privacy just to live in this new digital world. Innovation is great, but it must be built on honesty and true transparency.